Hello and welcome. And we're back with Division 3. We're here in Hungary. Championship is lighting up absolutely brilliantly here. So we've got three guys. Massimo is leading the championship ahead of Naktrack and ahead of Stogs, who lost a couple of points last round. They're all within 7 points. So we're hoping to see a really, really good fight for the championship in the last three races. As always, joined here by Instinct. Instinct, any predictions for we're going to see here today?
Absolutely no idea. I've not practiced a lot, so I didn't have a look at the timing boards in time trial. But I'm assuming that the top three probably have a lot of pace again and will most likely dominate the race.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of interesting action between these guys. Um, we've seen both Stoggs and Massimo dominate races here and there. Naktrack not so much, so he's not quite as fast as them, but he's incredibly consistent, and it's that consistency that's enabled him to sort of keep himself in P2 in the championship. And I think he's done actually really quite incredibly, given some of the domination from Massimo and Stoggs.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do in qualifying. Looks dry to me, with probably no changes in weather for the qualifying. I'm not sure what the race will bring.
Yeah, nice bright skies we've got here today. We are a little bit partial to rain. We saw how that could be exciting in the Div 2 race when it all kind of turned into chaos, and hopefully we'll see it again today. Now, we know a couple of these guys aren't as quick in the wetter conditions. Massimo, one of those that is. And interesting to note that Massimo did take part in the Division 1 race, so he wouldn't have earned any points by it. But he did have a chance to prove himself against some of the top guys, and to be honest, he did really well. Looking through the chat though, in the Division 3 chat, he's definitely nervous. So we were talking about this in Division 2 about we're coming towards the end of the championship. Do some of these guys have the fortitude to keep their minds in it, to get their brains engaged, and to make the best of the situation? We see the Velociraptor 4 crosses the line first to set a lap. Here comes Naktrack.
Ali
Wants
as
to
well.
go a little bit higher than these guys, of course, in his battle for the championship, and he does. He goes provisionally first. But yeah, so do Massey, do Stoggs, do Naktrack all have the will, I suppose, to go on and win this one? Will we see any silly mistakes? Will we see any errors that are just caused by almost being scared of what's about to happen?
And as you said there, Massimo crosses the line 7/10 in front of Naktrack. So
Yeah, once
maybe
again,
his mind is in the right place.
yeah, Massey, incredibly quick, and there you see it again, 7/10 up. A little bit odd. His driving back to the pit lane stopped a little bit on the racing line, but I'm sure that wouldn't have affected the car that went past. And here comes one goal, one dream. He's invalidated, but I think he's on a flying lap now. So we'll keep an eye open, see what he can do with that. And so Stogg's not yet to cross
He's
the
on a
line.
lap now, but set a purple sector in sector 1.
Yeah, and if we follow on board with Stoggs, here he comes through the chicane. And another guy who, like Massimo, they sort of take turns dominating races, but then the downside is that they end up making silly mistakes, invalidating, and not crashing out necessarily, but having some bad performances. And we saw that from Stoggs last race. He did give up the championship lead, did the AlphaTauri driver, but he will be hoping to take it all back today. Here he comes across around the last corner and across the line, and we'll see, can he match Massey at the front? And he's slowed down,
He backed
so
out of his lap.
he must
Maybe he
have
didn't want to set a lap on this set of tires.
could be he was aiming to be outside of the top 10 if he wants to start maybe on medium tires. Could that be an indication then that we've got a dry race if these guys are that concerned about the tyres they start on, because of course if it does rain, then you don't have to use 2 different sets of tyres. You can start on softs, maybe go onto another set of softs, and then onto inters or wets, or however it will turn out to be. And of course if it starts in wet conditions, then you don't have to use these tyres that you've set a lap on. So maybe Stoggs is going to go in and come out on medium tyres. We know he's got pace, and if we say the medium tyres are about 1.2 seconds slower, you know, if he's got the pace for a 1:13.4, maybe he's got the pace for a 1:14.6, which would put him provisionally about 5th if we were to do it on medium tyres. We'll have to wait and see, of course, but
No,
that
we
might be
have
an
to think
opening.
about the track though. I don't know if that's the right strategy call on the Hungaroring, as that's a really tough track to overtake. I'm not sure if track position from a good qualifying would be better than a medium track position with the slower qualifying lap.
Yeah, of course. A good point is that it's incredibly difficult to overtake here, and Stoggs is going out again. So I wonder if he just. I'm not really sure what I'm watching here, but he's going around again. I was expecting him to dive into the pits, but he hasn't. So is he going to try and set a fast lap here, or what's going on with that? Well, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll see what he does. Here's Lord Volk that we're on board, one of the guys that has not yet set a lap. And as he comes around the final corner now, he will cross the line. Not being particularly high. There's a couple of races where he upset the status quo. Will this be one? Well, he's gone 4th. So it might just be. Certainly one of the drivers has gained a lot over the season. We've seen a couple of drivers drop down. The 2 Renaults, of course, we don't have Wrecker here today, but Air Jordan and Wrecker, a very, very good start in the first sort of 3-4 races. And then they just kind of fell off the pace and weren't able to keep up to the guys like Massimo and Stoggs. But Lord Volk seemingly to do the absolute opposite, to kind of turn it up towards the end. So here comes Stoggs, and he's into the pit. Ooh, he's DNF from the session. So he
That
goes into the pit
surely
lane.
wasn't the right strategy there.
Oh, goes into the pit lane way too hot, and now he's blocking the pit lane. So if we see any of the cars behind, they won't. But they might be able to if they clip on the grass a little bit. But his car is still there, still in the pit lane. I'm just sitting here watching it, and now he's disappeared, and the Velociraptor has spun himself around there. He comes around just a little bit too hot, and his teammate is going past him now. But he has not made contact with the wall, so he will be fine. And we look on board Fuki 90 here, coming across the line now, and not
No
able to improve.
improvement.
Garley's jumped up a little bit, so he's up to 4th. Jinxie up into 3rd. That's very important then. So I don't know what kind of communications they have, but Massimo has got his teammate very close to him. He's got Naktrack right behind him, his closest championship contender, and then he's got his teammate behind. So if his teammate can get past on the first opening lap, I suppose, in the first corner, he could really disrupt Naktrack and maybe hold him up and allow Massimo a bit of an easier time out in front. And we see here Air Jordan. So he was the championship leader for quite a few rounds. And as you can see, the pace differential between him and Massimo is over a second at the moment. But he's going to be wanting to make good on an improvement here. So we'll have to see the sector splits as he comes round. And it's a very big mistake there from him. He
Still
was
up
half a
4
second
tenths.
up. A big lockup as well. So he's really on the absolute edge of what he can do. As it comes around now, last couple of corners, tiny bit of a lockup on the inside and a big slide as he comes around. He's using absolutely all of the grip that the tyres are allowing and a little bit more. And as he comes around again, very squirmish on the throttle, crosses the line, goes 6th and lost 0.3 of a second just from those slides and lockups right at the end.
Yeah, but
And
I'm sure
Jinxie,
he can repair that damage in a lap later on. I know, I think he knows now where the boundaries are of grip and can then get back to his improvement we saw earlier in the lap.
Yeah, of course, and that's one of the things that you have to note is that the last sort of 3-4 minutes of the session, the track is as grippy as it will be. So that's when they all want to go out and set their proper fast lap. Um, and oh, Massey's on medium tires now, so he's going to go around see if he can improve. It's a hell of a lap he's set already, so I doubt he'd be able to improve on that. Maybe if he'd started on the medium tires, he would have been able to keep himself up there. Um, but starting a first lap on softs is not helped him out. Yeah. So what I was saying basically is that you do the first couple of laps you do, you're almost trying to find where the grip is, and then with 4 minutes to go, then you can go out. You know where the grip is, and then you set your absolute stonker of a lap. So 2 Ferraris, 1 and 2 at the moment. That's a great sight to see. Shame we don't see it in real F1 too much anymore. Naktrack is in third. Gali, we've talked about him a lot. He's in fourth at the moment. Very good qualifying performances, but again in the race, sometimes not able to capitalize on his position. A little bit hot in some of the races, and I think that hurts him. But Massimo is crossing the line now to start his flying lap on the medium tires. So we'll keep an eye out. I'll give you the sector splits for that one as we watch Naktrack trying to improve on soft tires. Got a yellow flag out in sector 3, but that's resolved quite quickly. I think that was one of the Haas drivers just getting a little bit out of shape.
And Massimo invalidated his lap.
Well, he was
Shots.
only a tenth down actually when he started that lap. So I wonder if he comes into the pits now, or maybe even just turns the ERS down and then goes again. Because of course these medium tires don't fall off in the same way as the softs do. Naktrack has gone purple in the middle sector, so as he comes round, last couple of corners now, we will sort of see his pace. He's got quite an improvement to make in order to beat Massimo. He's got to go 6, almost 7 tenths quicker as he comes around the last corner now, and then absolutely guns it down the line. Where does he go? He goes second, and he's still 3.5 tenths off Massimo's time. So it shows you what kind of pace Massimo has.
Yeah, and he still has time to go out on a quicker track.
Yep, so Massimo's thrown it into the pit lane, not quite in the same way that Stoggs did, but he is going to come back into the pits, either put on new softs or try again on mediums and see if he can do anything about it. Here comes the one goal, across the line to start a flying lap. Has not yet set a fast time, but we're eagerly awaiting for him to pull something out of the bag. So, Naktrack.
Stocks was in chat and told us that he had brake pedal issues.
Right, so will he be able to get that resolved in time for the race is the real question.
Hopefully.
Because as it stands now, yeah, of course, Hungary is a very difficult track to overtake in, but someone like Stoggs can surely manage a couple of overtakes. However, if he's got brake pedal issues and he has to drop out, we could see him lose 25 points in the championship with only 3 rounds to go. That would be absolutely devastating for him.
Yeah, but we have to keep in mind that the same happened to Massimo in a race earlier, I think. He had pedal issues as well and retired in the pit lane at some point.
Yeah, if memory serves, I think that might have been in Bahrain, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Bahrain.
And yeah,
So
that
you
was
see a
obviously
one goal invalidated again. No time on the board yet.
well, he is down in 15th at the moment. So with the tyre strategy, I think we ought to dedicate some time to talking about that.
Sure.
You can do a sort of soft to medium strategy, or a soft to hard, or a medium to hard strategy. Now, if you go with the soft tyres, you will have to do a bit of tyre saving, especially if you've done a really fast lap in qualifying on them. However, the guys that will start outside the top 10, or anyone who's qualified on mediums, which is no one at the moment. But if you're doing a medium to hard tyre strategy, then you don't have to save in the same way. And Air Jordan has just invalidated the lap by going a little bit too wide. Jinxie is out to set a flying lap. Both Massimo and Naktrack still in the pit lane. We're eagerly awaiting one of them to blink first, but Jinxie is out, and he is looking to help out his teammate by getting himself in between Massey and Naktrack. At the moment, he starts in third, but he'll still be able to do something from there. Still be able to hustle Naktrack maybe into the first corner, and we've got a yellow flag, sort of sector 1, sector 2, and sector 3. I think it's just a couple of cars slowing down, letting the faster guys pass while they're doing their outlaps. Andrew Orthodox at some point has jumped himself up into fourth as well, and Natrack's retired. So maybe he's keeping a spare set of soft tyres just in case. Maybe doesn't think the likes of Jinxie or the guys behind are able to do anything to improve, and he maybe doesn't think he's able to overcome those 3/10 to Massimo ahead. So I wonder if Massimo will actually complete his flying lap. He will be probably one of the last to cross the line, so he'll have the choice at the end as he's coming round whether or not he wants to complete his lap.
Gali just jumped Andrew for P4. And there's a lot of cars lining up to start their lap now.
Yep, so there's Aryan in the Red Bull, followed by Jinxie, who we're highlighting with the camera here. And then we've got, I think that's Andrew Orthodox behind in the Racing Point. Of course, Andrew Orthodox's teammate is not in this one today. And Massimo's slowing down, letting the Haas driver past him. He's still got 45 seconds to cross the line, but I think he will be the last person to start their final flying lap. So we're watching on board Jinxie. Naktrack has not come out to do a final flying lap. Jinxie will have the opportunity to do so. He's 0.15 down on his fastest so far. He's got to overcome quite a bit, about 3/10 to try and beat Naktrack.
And Sienna Bob went off on his hot lap.
Oh, and so has Jinxie. So he's cut the chicane. He's lost a bunch of time, and he's had to back out of this one. So both Sienna Bob and Jinxie not faring well. But here is Massimo, and what can he do now? We'll watch the time delta. He's 1/10 up on his fastest lap so far. Now he's got nothing to improve on. It's just for bragging rights, basically. But if he can set a really fast lap, he could go almost a second clear of his teammate, and really show the guys behind what he is, what he's made of. And in this championship fight against Stoggs,
Andrew jumps to P3. 4/10 of an improvement. A really good lap from him.
That's put Jinxie at a bit of a disadvantage then if he's hoping to help out his teammate. And here comes Massimo around the last couple of corners. We'll see what kind of time he can set. I don't think anyone's going to be able to improve on what he's set so far, but he will complete the lap regardless. Here he comes across the line. Can he improve? By how much? It's not by much, but it's not really relevant because he will start this race on pole.
Stoggs a bit lucky with one goal not setting a lap. 4 invalidations for him, so he's not starting last.
Yeah, so Stoggs has got free choice of tyre, as we said. He can start on maybe the medium or the hard tyres and just sort of see how he gets on. We've seen safety cars in pretty much every race so far in the FRS, and I dare say we'll see it again. We've got a lovely little prediction running in chat. I don't know if it's over yet. I think it might still be running, or is it over? I think it might be over. Well, we'll see how that all unfolds. But Massimo leading the championship at the moment, and we'll see whether or not he can keep that coming into this race. So only 2 points. Oh, only 5 points ahead of Naktrack and only 7 points ahead of Stoggs behind. So the running for the qualifying: Massimo on pole, Naktrack second, Andrew Orthodox in third. We've got the other Ferrari of Jinxie in fourth. We've got Gali in fifth. We've got Air Jordan in sixth, Sienna Bob seventh, Hamlin in eighth, Lord Vulk in ninth. We've got the Velociraptor 4 in 10th. 11th we have Iron. Fuki 90 is in 12th. Lamb Chop in 13th. Championship contender Stoggs all the way down in 14th, and then without setting a lap, one goal will start from last in 15th. And now we're just waiting for the formation lap to get underway.
Looks like dry to me. Maybe we
Yeah.
have some race engineers in chat able to tell us if there will be a change of weather during the race.
Yeah, we've got very blue skies out there, so it doesn't look like there's any chance of rain really, which will be a nice change from the other two divisions, Div 1, Div 2, being plagued by rain at some point. And of course, we were in Suzuka last time, and Suzuka again. A lot of the races had at least a bit of rain, if not in qualifying, then in the race.
I
But it
think
looks like
this div had a full wet race in Suzuka, if I remember correctly.
so. It looks like it's dry for the race, maybe overcast for the second half. It might be a little bit cold, but certainly nothing to suggest any spits of rain. And here they go. So they're just going to be warming up their tyres, thinking about the strategy. They've all made their choices, but of course they can change it at any point during this race. So the soft tyres will not last very long. So we'll see them come into the pits fairly early. Stoggs is starting on soft tyres then. So very interesting. Had free choice of tyre. You would have thought maybe he would be able to do something on medium tyres like Ian and Lamb Chop. One goal electing for hard tyres, but everyone else, it seems, is on softs. So he's going to have to.
Yeah, interesting strategy.
He's just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way by just making overtakes out happen on the track. We'll have to see what he can do then. So, yeah, Hungary, very difficult track to overtake on. He really needs a good performance in order to keep his championship chances alive. He's got a brake issue. We don't know if that's been resolved, so we'll have to wait and see. We'll see if he is able to make a couple of corners. Of course, starting last and having brake problems on the start is not exactly ideal. He would have liked to start, ahead of these guys and try and fight back in the championship. But yeah, disappointing race out in Japan last time. He only got 8th. So hopefully we don't see him continue maybe a sort of downwards trend. So as they come around the last corner now, they will be lining up on their pit boxes. Of course, Massimo starting on the left as we watch it now. From the other side, he will be starting on the right. So that is on the racing line. Knack track on the off line. How much more grip is it going to give Massimo? Will Andrew Orthodox be able to jump Knack track at the start? Will Jinxie be able to play a factor in this? What about Gali in 5th? Well, we'll see. Here come the lights. 5 lights are on. And they're off and away they go. And it looks like a good start from quite a lot of them. And the timing tower is all out of it. And Knack track is very close
Really
to Massimo.
close. Keeps
And
it tidy.
Is Knack track going to be able to go all the way around the outside? No, he isn't, because Massimo kind of closes the door on him, and Massimo manages to retake or regain or keep first place. Knack track behind Andrew Orthodox in 3rd. We've got Jinxie just behind in 4th. Unfortunately, the timing towers all out of whack, but I think that's Air Jordan down in 5th place behind them. And then I think now it's all corrected itself as we see Lord Vulcan 6th. No, because that's Stoggs in 7th, and I don't think he is that far up. And in fact, he is. So Stoggs is up into 7th already. I have no idea what's happened or how he's managed to do that, but Stoggs is up into 7th. Lord Volk ahead in 6th, and Stoggs is all over the back of Lord Volk. So we've missed that off somewhere. And he's going for an overtaking move on Lord Volk. And he's gone very wide there, and I think Lord Volk will be able to get it back, and he does. But Stoggs has got the right mentality here. He's just got to get ahead quickly.
Yeah, he's trying to send it into every corner.
Absolutely
Really
no
has to
messing
make up positions to close up Tomasi.
And
You
we see
Lamb Chop in the back with a bit of wing damage. Has
And
to.
here it comes again. Does Stoggs on Lord Volk? He goes up the inside. This time he doesn't outbreak himself. Keeps it nice and tidy. And there's nothing that Lord Volk can do to stop him. And Stoggs now just needs to hunt down the guys ahead. Massimo is creating a little bit of a lead to Naktrack, who is dropping Andrew Orthodox behind. Jinxie's all over the back of of the racing point in front of him. And then we've got Air Jordan, who's catching up to Jinxie. And here comes Stoggs on the hunt. He's set purple in the first sectors. He's gone fastest of anyone, but can he get up and can he overtake these guys? And he's right on the back of Air Jordan now. Only in a couple of corners has it taken him. So you can see he's all over the place. Is he going to get a couple of track limits warnings for how much he's pushing? Because he is pushing quite extremely. Jinxie's kind of dropped off the back of Ender Orthodox now. He's into the clutches of Air Jordan, who in turn is into the clutches of Stoggs. No DRS at the moment, but as they cross the line, I think they will get it.
I think Stocks has to be a bit careful now. Race director is telling me that he's on 3 warnings already. I'm not sure why he doesn't have a penalty yet.
Well, it could be one of those warnings is for contact. So he's obviously managed to get his way ahead of these guys. Maybe he's done it a little bit forcefully. We'll have to see and wait for the stewards' inquiries before we settle anything. But we've got a couple of moves happening on track. And so Ghali's fallen down way down in the positions. He's in 11th. A couple of these people have lost out quite a bit. One goal is still in. Well, he's up in 14th now. Lamb Chop way down, so we presume he's pitted. And here comes Stoggs again on Air Jordan, and he's going to make a move now up the inside. Does go Stoggs, and that's not a place where you expect them to overtake, but that just kind of shows you what kind of pace Stoggs has in comparison to the guys ahead of him. So Air Jordan down. He's got Stoggs has got a second and a half now to close up to Jinxie ahead, who is still within DRS range of Andrew Orthodox behind. Is Stoggs still on for a podium here? Massey and Naktrack are leading away. Both are out of DRS from the guys behind. Lord Valk is now very close to Air Jordan, as Air Jordan still manages to keep within position of Stoggs. He will have DRS here. Stoggs will not have DRS on the car ahead. Will Air Jordan be able to do anything with this?
Both
It
of them are
doesn't look
almost
like
out
it.
of ERS. Both
Yeah,
down to 20% already.
yeah, and I think Stoggs has probably just had to use all of his ERS to catch up as quickly as possible. So Stoggs up 9 positions then. We've got Gali is down 5 positions, Hamlin down 4 positions.
Yellow flags, and that's Arjen gone round.
And there's a McLaren, so I don't know if they made contact, him and 1 goal.
Yeah, there's a penalty for Arjen. And Fuki retired. I think Arjen and 1 goal will drive up to the point of incident there.
Oh, and Fuki's gone round and he's got his tyres collapsed, and we've got a full safety car now. So
Safety
some
car.
of these guys will be thinking they can go onto hard
Yeah,
tyres and go
surely
right
they
to the end of the
can.
race. And I would say if you're Stoggs, that is the
Yeah,
risk
that's the
that
perfect outcome for him.
safety car stopped on track. That's not ideal. So they will all go around again. But I think, yeah.
Probably
Oh,
Stocks
Massey's
has
into
a...
the pits. So Massey
Yeah.
into the pits. He's going to put on hard tyres, we would imagine, and try and go towards the end. Naktrack is
Fuki
also
double
in.
stacking. Stocks in as well. Air Jordan, Lord Volk. Side by side with Air Jordan in the pits.
Yeah, so Jinxie will have to wait a tiny bit of time. So will Stoggs be able to come out in front of Jinxie? I think he's jumped him. And Stoggs has jumped Jinxie in the pit stop. So they're all onto hard tyres, are they? All the guys at the front. So Massimo leads. Nattrack second. Andrew Orthodox third. Stoggs has jumped Jinxie. He's up into fourth. 1 goal, who started on hard tyres, is now in fifth. He's got Jinxie behind, Ed Jordan and Lord Volk, who decided to go onto medium tyres. So can Lord Volk make it all the way to the end? Or will he need to pit again?
He will need to pit
Yeah, I
again,
would
I
think so.
assume. Maybe onto the softs later on to set a fastest lap.
That could be what he's thinking. So a big crash from Fuki. Unfortunately, he's out, but it does mess everything up a little bit. So it closes everyone up. Now that's beneficial towards Stoggs, who was a little bit further behind, maybe completely out of ERS. That's allowed him to recharge his battery, which will help him in the fight. Of course, all the other cars around him will also get to recharge their batteries.
It's
So
really the perfect scenario for him now. Probably had a bit more tire wear than the guys in front as well because he pushed so hard. So this safety car helps him out a lot.
yeah, now we're just waiting for the other cars to rejoin. We've got Lamb Chop, who this helps as well because he had to pit. He was 38 seconds behind even last place. So that's allowed him to close up. He is on, of course, he has pitted already for hard tyres, so he doesn't need to pit again. So we think probably the only people that still need to pit are One Goal, who hasn't pit yet, and Lord Volk, who is on medium tyres. But everyone else is on pretty much brand new hard tyres, and the safety car will go round one more time, despite the fact that everyone has caught up. I think it was just took a little bit more time for Lamb Chop to catch up, but we've got the incident cleared, and we're hoping to go back to green flag racing pretty soon.
Yeah, the lights should go out in Sector 3 now, this lap. Yeah, the big winners as of now are Stocks and One Goal. Maybe if there's a safety car later on that helps out One Goal as well. Gali probably the biggest loser from the first 6 laps, down 6 positions.
Yeah, and of course we've now got the second chance, as they point out in chat, to see Naktrack try and just send one up the inside of Massimo on the restart. Of course, the safety car bunching them all up does allow for some of these cars to be a little bit closer to each other than they would necessarily be if they were coming out of the last corner in normal race conditions. So we'll see how that affects them. We'll see how they can manage the restart. Of course, Stoggs will be incredibly racy. He's got One Goal behind, who isn't, doesn't have quite the same pace as the guys in front, and he's a bit of a roadblock. So it almost prevents Jinxie from kind of sending a move on Stoggs. So Stoggs maybe doesn't have to worry about the cars behind, can focus all of his attention on trying to get past Andrew Orthodox. And here comes Matty. So he's slowed everyone down, and we'll wait for him to bolt. And has he gone already? I'm not. Oh, Andrew Orthodox has gone round. Andrew Orthodox has spun it round, and that's allowed Stoggs to get back into third. And Andrew Orthodox is really in a bad position because he's got to reverse his way off of the track. Or back onto the track. Naktrack not quite close enough to do anything to Massey. And we've seen Lord Volk now going for a move on Air Jordan. He's got the inside line. He can just kind of force his way through. And of course, he's on those medium tyres. A little bit of a slide, but he's got a lot more traction. And Stoggs now can just close up to Naktrack and Massimo ahead. What an absolutely fantastic start it has been. And there's a bit of contact there between Hamlin and Gali, the two sort of big losers from the start, the ones that have lost a lot of points, a lot of positions. But what a start from Stoggs. And he's well on his way to being driver of the day. Of course, we didn't see how he got there. So we're not really sure if there'll be any kind of shenanigans in terms of the stewards.
And as you were talking, we got our first track limits penalty for Sienna Bob. So
Yeah,
3
so
seconds at the end added onto his time.
unfortunately, Sienna Bob not quite with the same pace that he had in Suzuka. Maybe as the race unfolds, we'll see him come into contention a little bit more. But as you say, he's already got that 3 seconds. We expect that we'll see a couple of people with track limit warnings or track limit penalties towards the end of the race. And here's Jinxie on One Goal, and he's got to make it sort of now or never if he wants to catch up to this lead pack. And One Goal takes the inside line,
Round
lets him
the
go all
outside.
the way around the outside, and we're just kind of waiting for them to come into shot. There they are. Jinxie is past One Goal. Now, One Goal should make it quite easy for his teammate, I imagine. Just gets out of the way. And I think that's what we're seeing in the background. He's just kind of, yeah, just lets him go past, and Lord Volk up
Stocks
into
with the
fifth. And
penalty now.
so
Pushing
Stoggs,
maybe a bit too hard. He was on 2 warnings already in the first 3 or 4 laps.
yeah. So Stoggs is he's already almost 3 seconds ahead of Jinxie. So if Jinxie can close up to him, he can really put a spanner in the works for Stoggs. But as it stands, Stoggs is still behind Massimo and Nattrack. Massimo taking the lead by a second and a half at the moment. Nattrack has gotten himself without of DRS range of Stoggs behind, and with the penalty that Stoggs has, it doesn't look like, even if Stoggs was to close up, that he'd be too much of a threat.
DRS enabled after the safety car restart now. Maybe Lord Volk with a overtake opportunity after the first corner.
He's definitely close to Jinxie. He's not close enough to make any kind of move here, but we will see him have better traction. Actually, Jinxie gets a really good exit out of that corner, but Lord Volk on the slightly softer of the two compounds will be able to get slightly better traction out of some of these slow speed corners. So I think through the midfield section in between sector 2 and sector 3, he will be able to close up to Jinxie. Whether or not he can keep it round the last corner to be within that DRS range for an overtake, we'll have to wait and see. And the Velociraptor also picking up a penalty for a couple of violations. So Stoggs, Tierna Bob, and Velociraptor all with a 3-second penalty. Everyone else has kept their nose fairly clean so far. And we're riding on board with the Velociraptor now. There's a gaggle of cars here. We've got one goal, one dream, kind of the cork in the bottle at the moment. He's got Air Jordan right behind him, Sienna Bob, the Velociraptor. We've got Garley just behind that, and they're all sort of line astern, all looking to make a move on the car ahead. So as they come around the last corner now, here comes Air Jordan. He's got the DRS open. In fact, Sienna Bob is a lot closer to Air Jordan than Air Jordan is. So Air Jordan going a bit defensive there. Here comes Sienna Bob. Is he going to go all the way around the outside? One goal, one dream has kind of parked his car there. So he's holding them up all a little bit. And Sienna Bob has got the inside line now for the next corner. Is he just going to force the Renault out wide? It looks like that is what he's doing. One goal goes a little bit wide. Sienna Bob has the opportunity now. Maybe if he gets this all right to make a move, but I don't think he's quite got enough overspeed on the McLaren in front of him. And one goal a little bit wide there, and a bit wide in that corner as well. So Sienna Bob can get a really good exit. Is he close enough to make anything happen into the chicane? He's not quite. And now I think he's just got to sit behind him for the rest of the lap and just wait for the start-finish line to appear before he can really mount a charge. So Air Jordan loses out a little bit, and we've got yellow flags, and that's Iron's gone round.
Again,
And
front
he's got
wing gone.
huge front wing damage.
Has to box.
It's a full
That's
safety car
safety car.
again. So is anyone? And Stoggs has just gone past the pit lane, so he's not able to do anything with it. Lord
Lord
Volk is
Volk
in
into
though,
the pits. What will one goal do?
and no
Decides
one
to stay
else.
out. Another penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Lord Volk.
That's a shame for him. But Lord Volk seems to be the only person who's gone into the pits then. So no one deciding.
Yeah, Arjen will have to pit, I assume. Yeah.
Yes, of course he will. But no one else, even the guys running at the back, deciding that they're worth taking maybe a slightly different strategy. Maybe go on to the mediums. You never
Are
know.
there 2 sets of fresh hearts? Or is he has to put on mediums, no?
And I think he's tried to keep the hard tires on, and unfortunately, he's locked it in all wrong, has Ian. So he's done the Mark Hopkins strat of going straight onto the intermediates on a dry track, and he will have to come round again. Luckily, he's done it under safety car, not
Yeah,
the
he
not the proper
just
Mark
has to
Hopkins
be
strat of
really, really careful now. These
yeah.
tires
And
will get really hot.
I
Has
can
to
tell
keep
you,
it a bit slow.
I can tell you from experience that you do. It is incredibly tricky to keep a car on intermediates on the track, especially if it's dry. and it's going to be a bit difficult for him. But he'll get to go all the way around and put the hard tires back on.
Does he
So,
have John Lemon as his race engineer,
oh,
maybe?
he's already off the track. Oh, buddy, what have you done? Yeah, and well, at least he's done it under safety car, and
One goal
not
into
like.
the pits. Hopefully the McLaren crew does it right this time.
Yeah, so one goal obviously had to pit again, and he's chosen to go around one more time. He's going to put on the medium tyres, I would imagine, and that will be his.
Has to replace
He's
the
gone on
front wing as well.
softs.
Onto softs. Okay, McLaren
Well, I
and
can't
Red
tell.
Bull with interesting strategies.
Yeah, I can't tell which is worse, going on intermediate tyres or going on to soft tyres. And obviously coming into the pits now to put back on those hard tyres.
Has to be careful.
Oh, and you can see how little grip those intermediates have. And he does lock up going into the pits, but he doesn't get an exceeding pits lane penalty for that. And he's gone on to mediums. So he could have just done it from the beginning, gone on to mediums. I know sometimes when you're flicking through the tyres, if you're not quick enough, the game will just kind of lock you into whatever you have selected. And if you're flicking back and forth and you've got the intermediate selected, which is what I did in the evaluation race in America, then it will lock you into that. So he's on to medium tyres now. Can he make it all the way to the end? He's got to catch up. So he's really got to put some laps in now to catch up to these guys. They are under safety car, but that isn't as slow as you think it is, especially when you're that far behind. And so he's really got to get a shift on here. So Massimo, and again, he's led the last start perfectly.
Yeah, he's done
And
so multiple times in other races as well. Always creating big gaps after safety car restarts.
he'll have Naktrack behind, eager to get past Stoggs as well, eager to get past Naktrack. And hopefully we don't see anyone spin out just as they come around the last corner. So the safety car is not in this lap. That gives Ian the opportunity to close back up. Otherwise, he would have probably just missed out. So decent from him. And we'll all go round one more time. Yeah, really questionable strategy from one goal going on to soft tyres. He's definitely not going to be able to last the 22 laps that are left. So he will have to, or 23 laps even, we will have to pit again.
Maybe hoping for another safety car. Would the mediums last from here? I'm really not sure.
Well, I think they would. So I'm not entirely sure how long the softs will last, but this is about, I think, the point where you would then go onto the medium tires from the soft tires, and go to the end. So I think the medium tires should be able to last. Some of these guys will have a bit more speed than the cars ahead, so we'll have to sort of wait and see for that one. And Stoggs, yeah, up 11 positions. Fantastic from him. But the safety car isn't going to help him out too much because, of course, he's got that 3-second penalty. He doesn't want to be bunched up again so that the guys like Jinxie have to, essentially has to pull 3 seconds over Jinxie all over again. And
Someone's gone wide. Sienna
this
Bob.
time without one goal behind him to force Jinxie back. And yes, Sienna Bob goes a little bit wide, but he's still in 5th place.
Safety car in this lap.
So here they come now.
Kind of an awkward track for a restart. Because there's basically only just that one corner. Unless you like back it up really far.
And we're just waiting for Massey to go for it, and he's gone for it now. Same time as he did last time. Naktrack not able to stay close, as Stoggs is quite close to Naktrack, so he can get a better exit out of the corner. He's not maybe close enough to make a move, but he has got the overtake. In fact, he hasn't got the overtake open. So deciding not to make it happen in this corner, Massimo does lock up. And here we see the 3 championship leaders all in the positions that they are in the championship. So Massey leading from Naktrack, from Stoggs. And we'll have to see how does this affect the championship. If they stay as they are, all those positions will extend a little
Yellow
bit.
flags. That's Lamb Chop gone round with wing damage.
And Ian, I don't know if Ian's been able to close up. He must have, but he's quite a bit further
Yeah, I
back.
think he
So
had
he's
an
had an
incident
incident.
on the
Oh, so
restart. Yeah, the cold tires in the last corner catching him off guard.
And Massimo once again has created an incredible gap to Naktrack. Naktrack is all under pressure from Stoggs behind, so Stoggs is managed to save up all of his ERS. Naktrack not using too much. He's on 82%, Stoggs behind on 95%, but Stoggs has got it open now as they come around the last corner, and we'll see, is he able to catch up any time? He's about 6/10 behind. Nothing really to do until the DRS is open, which will be, I think, at the end of this lap, or at the start of the next lap, rather.
Lamb Chop into the pits with his wing damage.
And here comes a McLaren, or Gali all the way around the outside, Lord Valk up the inside, and it's 9th for Lord Valk, and Gali down in 10th. So, yeah, Gali, once again, a really good qualifying performance and a really bit of a shocking race as Andrew Orthodox picks up 3 seconds. So his race kind of goes from bad to worse. Was in really good position in the podium positions at some point, and then that spin under the safety car restart really put him all the way down the field.
So, from what chat told me, confirms what I thought seeing on the minimap earlier. Our resident dinosaur had a massive leg spike and dropped from P7 to P12.
Yeah, those lag spikes can be really unfortunate. We saw, well, I saw on my screen, that track had a tiny bit of sort of jump back where his car essentially just get a little bit of lag, and then the car just kind of jumps back for a second, and that put him into the clutches of Stoggs behind. But it was at, luckily for him, it was at a piece of the track where you can't really overtake. So Stoggs is still in third, Nattrack still in second, Massimo once again just creating a gap out in front.
Stocks keeping it inside the DRS window. Think next lap we will get DRS activation again. Maybe that will make his life a bit easier, trying to overtake Nectric.
Yeah, and here they come round again, and this is the part of the track where it's so easy to close up, and it does you absolutely no favors because there's just nowhere to overtake around Hungary. It's a bit of a shame having a track like Hungary as one of the last three on the championship on the calendar, but you know, it is what it is, and of course it's brought us a lot of rain, which has been exciting, but the actual overtakes on the dry track and even in the rain without any mistakes has not been as exciting as some of the other races. So still a long way to go, still only sort of half distance at the moment. But yeah, I think without any more safety cars, this is kind of how we're gonna see the race unfold. Stoggs is gaining a lead to Jinxie behind, and we see Andrew Orthodox and Gali trying to make
Hamlin
inroads
and
on the
Lord
cars
Wolf
ahead.
battling it out right now.
And Hamlin looking to go all the way around the
Around
outside.
outside maybe.
And as we wait for them, he will now have the inside for the next corner. And it looks like if you can push Lord Volk wide, in fact, Lord Volk will now have the inside for the for for this corner. And Hamlin
Great
goes all the way around the
racing.
outside. And that is absolutely fantastic from these two. Kept it
Kind of
nice and clean.
reminds me of the Kvyat and Gasly battle in the, or was it Albon? I'm not sure, in the Toro Rosso or Alpha Tauris on this track as well.
Yeah, and keeping it nice and clean as well. That is brilliant from both Hamlin and Lord Vulcan. Hamlin up into seventh. He's a bit of a ways behind Air Jordan. And here we see the product of Hungary. So a lot of dirty air being thrown around, and only one car in the top, well, two cars in the top 10 are within, well, three cars now in within DRS of the car ahead. So that's Stoggs in third. He's 0.8 of a second behind Nacktrack ahead. Then we see the McLaren of Lord Valk within touching distance of Hamlin. He is closing up. He has got the DRS, but he's not quite close enough to do anything here. And then we see Gali making a move on 1 goal, and he has gotten past now. Finally, has Gali
It's a
got
bit
past,
too
but 1 goal
deep.
swatched back.
And that allowed Andrew to go past as well.
And and Gali fighting it back against Andrew, and he's gone up the inside, and Andrew has to concede that one for now. And they're all in the position that they were at the start of the lap. So 1 goal, still the cork in the bottle for these guys, even on soft tyres. And Ghali's made a huge mistake there, and Andrew Orthodox goes wide, grabs the penalty, but does get past Ghali. So now he will be fighting his way up towards 1 goal and hopefully past him to try and make back some of these positions that he's lost. Further ahead, Lord Valk is staying within touching distance of Hamlin. So as they come round again, it looks like Lord Valk will have DRS. Stoggs will have DRS on Nacktrack ahead. Stoggs has got almost full ERS, whereas
Yeah,
Nacktrack
he's
is about half
driving really
half
smart.
empty.
He's staying behind, not using his ERS and letting Necktrack drain his ERS, trying to stay in front.
Yeah, and he
We've
has got
seen
the
that through
DRS open.
stocks a lot of times. He's really smart behind the wheel and keeps it cool.
And here comes a Lord Volk. So Lord Volk going to make a move back past Hamlin. He's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Now he's going to try and switch back, take the inside, and he's done it before the corner, before the next corner. And that means that Hamlin won't even be able to pop one up the inside and try and fight back. But you can see how close Hamlin is. And Andrew Orthodox somewhere in there has gotten himself past 1 goal. Ghali looking to get past 1 goal's gone very wide, and Ghali's trying to fight it through as they come around this twisty section here. And he's just not really enough space around the Hungary to make anything happen. 1 goal has picked up a 3-second penalty. Ghali looking very racy, but not quite close enough to do anything about it.
Yeah, I'm really sure that 1 goal strategy is not going up as he planned with softs, and he's struggling to keep up with the hard runners.
And Stoggs is
He's
now closer
basically
than he's
being
been for a
pushed
while.
by Gali through the middle sector. And there's
Oh,
contact.
and there's contact. And
No,
Ghali is going to
no
make
damage though.
contact. Oh, and make it an
More
over.
contact.
Oh, and he's made more. And they've both been impeded by that, and they've both been slowed down. And to be honest, you've got to kind of say it was a little bit of it was too much, I think, from Ghali. I think he made contact with 1 goal. It put 1 goal a bit out of position, and then Ghali really should have backed out, let 1 goal have the position for the next couple of corners, and then tried on the start finish straight. But he tries to make it happen in the next corner, which is a little bit unsporting when you've just knocked a car out of whack to then try and overtake them, and a little bit of karma maybe for him.
Yeah.
Definitely a shame, but yeah, I kind of saw that one coming, and they've both lost position, and they're both way back now. So they've got to fight each other, and they've got to fight themselves back past. Promotes a Velociraptor into the final points-paying position, but he has got a penalty, and so Arjan is very close behind and on those medium tyres.
Chat is asking to see tires.
Well, the tyre situation, everyone in the top 10 is on 14-lap medium tyres, except for Lord Volk, who's on 8-lap old medium tyres. And then we've got a bit of a mixed bag, as we see Iron on and 1 goal on 7-lap old tyres, one on medium, one on soft. Gali on the same 14-lap old hard tyres as the rest, and Lamb Chop on new softer tyres. So Lamb Chop should really have the pace to be setting fastest laps here. I'm not entirely sure who's got it at the moment.
Massimo just set one on 15 lap old hearts, 2 tenths faster than Lamb Chop's fastest lap.
In terms of the penalties that we've got, so Stoggs has got a 3-second penalty, but he is 3 seconds ahead of Jinxie in front. Now, if he wants to overtake Nacktrack, he's then got to pull a little bit of a gap on him to try and get past. We've got Sienna Bob also on 3 seconds. Not quite clear. 3 seconds of Air Jordan behind, but he is slowly making that gap up. Lord Volk on 8 seconds worth of penalties he had for speeding in the pit lane and as well as corner cutting. So that's 8 seconds total. Put him right down the order. Andrew Orthodox has got 6 seconds. Velociraptor also 6 seconds. We've got Gali on 3 and 1 goal also on 3. And once again, they come round. Stoggs close to Knack Track. We've got a yellow flag, and that's one of the McLarens.
It's
I
not-
think that might be one goal.
Yeah, it's one goal.
No VSC or safety car this time. And again, another lap where Stoggs just isn't quite close enough to Knack Track ahead. Knack Track on 45% ERS, Stoggs on a lot more, almost double. So 90, 85, 90% ERS. Just kind of keeping it together, just kind of keeping behind him.
Another
got-
spin for one goal. Here's the flat tire. His front left is completely gone. 8 laps on them.
Oh yeah, and we see the puncture there. So was that caused by contact or was that just caused by
I think
I don't
8
think it's
laps
been...
are too far.
Oh, and there's a big
for this
slide as he goes into
Conti.
pit lane. But he doesn't do a Stoggs and he doesn't crash into the wall there. So he's into the pits. He'll put on hard tires for the end of the race or maybe even
Maybe
mediums,
mediums.
actually. Yeah, mediums would work. And here they go now. So 14 laps to go. It'll be 13 as Massey crosses the start-finish line. Stoggs still within half a second of the car ahead, but not really able to do anything with it. You've got to just kind of wait for Knack Track to make a mistake. And here we kind of see track is getting a little bit darker, clouds are coming in, and we're heading towards those overcast conditions that we were informed of. But still, no drops of rain scheduled, and we're expecting it to be dry from start to finish. So if Stoggs has got to do this, he's got to do this now, basically, because he really wants to pull 3 seconds on Knack Track. It's been a great race for him in terms of damage limitation. He started way back. We thought maybe this was the point where the championship might be over for him, but he's managed to pull himself back up into third. He's pulled a 4.5 second gap to Jinxie behind. Jinxie not as much of a contender in this race as I thought initially he might be, just not having the pace to match up with the guys ahead.
Yeah, Stocks always loses like 2 to 3 tenths in the last 3 corners, but makes them back up in the other corners of the track. Also, still deciding not to use his ERS even when he is close to Knack Track. With
And Andrew
assistance
Orthodox
of
has gone
ERS.
round. So Andrew Orthodox from and again. Oh, it's all really gone wrong for Andrew Orthodox this race. He's had a couple of really good ones, but not today, it seems. And once again, it looks like Stoggs just isn't able to catch up and to make a move on Knack Track in front. We are seeing the ERS slowly come down from Knack Track, but is it quick enough for Stoggs to really do anything with it? He's used DRS to keep himself within position of Knack Track, and he's using a bit here and there to close up, but this has all kind of allowed Massey to gain a hell of a lead on these guys. So Massimo, 5.5 seconds in front of Knack Track, and it looks like there's nothing really that these guys can do to stop that from being the story here today.
So we have a penalty for Hamlin for exceeding track limits.
And round again they come, and Stoggs just needs to keep as close as he can. He goes a little bit deep there, and he's actually lost a huge chunk of time, lost 3 tenths in that one corner, and that's not going to help him. Here he comes again, has DRS. We'll see it open. Overtake is on, not using a lot of his overtake. Knack Track ahead. I don't know if Knack Track is even using his overtake. So maybe Knack Track has now become a little bit wise to what Stoggs is doing. And maybe Stoggs has just got to go for it now. He's just got to kind of send it with 10 laps to go, get ahead, and then try and start making the positions up. Of course, if Stoggs does get past, he still needs to pull 3 seconds.
That
And there goes
increases
Ian.
the urgency a bit. He has to go past soon to make up these 3 seconds, while his tires are still a bit fresher. I
And
don't
Ian
think
and
he will be
Volotox
able.
battling out. You think once he gets to the end of the race, you think the hard tires will just be cooked?
Yeah, he has to do it soon because maybe now he can make up some time, but later on, I don't think he will be able to.
Yeah, well, we've seen they've all pitted at the same time, and if we have a look towards the tyre graphics, 19 laps they've all done. Well, as they come across the line, it'll be 20, but 20 laps they've done on these hard tyres. Are they starting to wear down a little bit? Are they starting to lose a bit of performance? Of course, his will run out, but so will Knactrack's. You can see how close he is now to Knactrack, and the ERS situation. Knactrack on 30%. Stog's behind on about 80%. So maybe Stoggs is saving it all up. Maybe using it in the last couple of corners would help benefit him to stay close in the final corner and mount an overtaking maneuver. We'll have to sort of wait and see, of course. We can't put anything on the line until we sort of see Stoggs do something about this. But as it stands, he's just kind of driving a bit of a damage limitation race.
Maybe he doesn't want to risk any issues or incidents and just wants to take home these 15 points to keep in the championship race.
Yeah, so Massimo leads them 6.5 seconds, and Stoggs a couple of mistakes there. And again, as they come around the final corner, actually this time he's a little bit close. He's half a second behind. He was 6/10 last time. We'll see the ERS opens, the DRS opens. The ERS, he just a little bit. He just presses it just for a second, and then turns it off. And again, just keeping up to the car ahead. He's got a good gap on Jinxie. So if he's worried about losing time due to battling, he has got already, a 3.5 second gap, including the penalty that he's already, if we take that penalty off, it's still 3.5 seconds.
Maybe he's sitting on further warnings. Let me check.
Other than him, we've got Air Jordan, who's sort of within a second of Sienna Bob ahead. Sienna Bob doing a really good race here, but unfortunately that penalty will push him down to 6th, keeping it in head of Lord Volk, who's got quite a lot of penalties himself. Promote Air Jordan up into 5th, Jinxie 4th, Stoggs in 3rd, and Knactrack 2nd, and Massey, of course, leading the race. And we've got a penalty for Air Jordan. So we've got a 3-second penalty for Air Jordan, and that's undone everything I've just said. Sienna Bob only has 3 seconds worth of penalty. Air Jordan has 3 seconds of penalty. So we'll see Sienna Bob is currently net P5. Been a great race for him. Another one like Lord Volk, who's kind of turned it around towards the end of the championship. And here we go again. Stoggs is very close this time. So is this the point now where Stoggs is going to go for it? Knactrack on 25% ERS, Stoggs on 75% ERS. He's got 3 times the ERS that the guy in front does. So he's got the opportunity to try and make it work now. And we'll sort of just kind of sit on board. There's no one else really close enough. Air Jordan is close enough to Sienna Bob to make a move. And he will have to make the move now. So before he would have been happy just to stay behind and let it all unfold, but now he has to make the move on track. So it's Air Jordan in 6th and it's Stoggs in 3rd. Those are the 2 guys that we're going to keep an eye on. Those are the 2 guys that are fighting for a couple more points than whatever they will finish on as it stands. And Stoggs now has just got to nail the last couple of corners. He's half a second behind Knactrack, but we can see how that gap evolves. And you can see it there. I mean, you can see it tick down. He's now within 4/10 of him. But as they come around the last couple of corners, it does start to extend a little bit. And there it is, half a second, 6/10 of a second. And we're waiting as we come around the last corner. Now he just wants to put the power down. There's the overtake on. DRS will open up now. He's keeping the overtake on for a little bit longer. Not quite as long as maybe we're hoping for, but he is catching up quite a lot. So he has got the opportunity now. Is he going to use any overtake here? He is not, but he is obviously going to use the DRS that he has got access to close up a little bit more. So Stoggs keeping it behind. He's got 80% ERS. He's got to make the move at some point, and he's got to make the move within time that he can then pull 3 seconds on Knactrack. Otherwise, the move itself would be completely redundant. Maybe he's waiting to pressurize Knactrack, hoping that Knactrack can make a mistake, get a penalty, run a little bit wide, and then he'll be a bit more on equal footing. But Naktrack, as it stands, has kept it nice and clean, and Stokes has picked up another 3-second penalty.
I was just gonna say that he's on 2 further warnings.
So Stokes is now 6.5 seconds behind Naktrack. He is still in position that he will finish in third. He is still ahead of Jinxie. It's still been a great race. Can't take that away from him. If someone could do a driver of the day prediction poll
I
thing
will do
in chat, that would be great. And Stokes is definitely going to be one of them. We'll keep an eye out on who else is the real gainers from this. But Massimo has led the race 7.5 seconds. He's got a gap to Naktrack in front. Naktrack has been under pressure all race, and he's kept it cool, not made any mistakes. No penalties for him. And even with Stoggs closing up to him lap after lap after lap, Naktrack using ERS, Stoggs on almost full ERS behind, and Naktrack has kept it cool and done a brilliant job. Of course, Stoggs, what a start from him, getting up into 5th place or something right at the beginning, and then just easily slicing his way through the runners. Gali has gotten past the Velociraptor as the Velociraptor has pitted now, possibly going on to soft tyres. Going to try and set a fastest lap to take it away from the guys in front. And yeah, we have to mention as well, Stoggs has done all of this without having a teammate to back him up. So obviously Naktrack's teammate Fuki90 is out of the race, has been out of the race for a while. But Massey has got Jinxie sort of helping him out, at least, you know, handling some of these guys. And Stoggs has gone very deep there. And Air Jordan is very close now to Sienna Bob as well. So are we going to see a move from one of these guys? Air Jordan's all over the back of Sienna Bob. Stoggs not quite close enough to use his ERS. Will Air Jordan be able to mount anything? He's got the DRS. He will activate it now. He's got the ERS open. He's going to use all of it, I think, as he comes down. Sienna Bob, bit of a sitting duck. Air Jordan going up the inside now. Sienna Bob has got the chance now to cut back, and Air Jordan. Air Jordan just kind of stops it on the apex, and it catches Sienna Bob out by surprise. It looks like Sienna Bob was going to try and do the cutback, wasn't able to, and now Air Jordan has taken a position from Sienna Bob. So can Sienna Bob fight back and regain 5th place? We'll have to wait and see. Stoggs is closing up again to Naktrack ahead, but the ERS situation is looking more or less the same. At this point in time, Naktrack is on about 15% ERS. Stoggs is on a whopping 65% ERS. So they come around the last couple of corners to start their next lap. Massimo 7.5 seconds ahead. Gali gets a 3-second penalty.
Sienna Bob is also sitting on 2 further warnings. So has to be careful.
Stoggs has just got to kind of nail it, but now he's just too far behind, and he's using more overtake than we've seen in previous laps, and he's very close to Naktrack. So as they get towards the end of the straight, he is incredibly close. Now he's got to pull 6 seconds, so I think his chance for P2 isn't there. But of course, if Naktrack makes a mistake and Naktrack gets a penalty, then that all changes slightly. So, driver of the day, would love to hear what you guys think. Most people have voted for Stoggs at the moment. Massimo getting one of the two of the votes now. But yeah, it was a great start from Stoggs to get himself back up to where he needed to be in the championship. And even if he doesn't get past Naktrack, which I don't think he'll be able to, let alone pull any time on him, it's been a fantastic recovery drive from Stoggs when it mattered the most.
Yeah, the first lap alone, I think he made up 7 or 8 positions. Set him up brilliantly for the race. Had a bit of luck with the safety car helping him out as well. And then driving a smart race. Maybe the penalties are a bit of an annoyance to him, because otherwise I think he would have fought for 2nd position.
Yeah, unfortunately, that has thrown the actual fight for the podium positions because, of course, Massey's way out in front. Natrak is way out in front of Stoggs after the penalties are applied. And here comes Sienna Bob looking to fight back against Air Jordan. And he's going to try and switch it back now, but there isn't really enough space around this part of the track to make any kind of move. And it's just another lap. He's forced to sit behind Air Jordan, both on the same amount of penalties. And as they go round again, Sienna Bob will have a couple more opportunities to make a move. And so will Stoggs on that track. And I think he'd love to do it on track, even if he doesn't manage to do anything in terms of the actual championship in terms of points. So the gaps will extend at the front. We'll have to see who ends up with the fastest lap. As of right now, it is still Massimo. So Massimo setting a 1:17.4. The only one close to him,
Maybe
it
one.
looks like, and here comes Stoggs. He's going to go all the way around the outside now. Is this the time that he's going to make the move? He will have DRS again, but he's just not quite close enough. He is burning through his overtake. Is he going to send one up the inside? He is not, but Natrak thought he was. Left him a little bit of room there. But Natrak is not phased by the pressure that Stoggs is putting on him. Natrak is now right at the end of his battery in terms of the ERS. He's sitting on single digits. Stoggs is about 30% ERS. He's got a little bit more to play with, but not as much as he did in some of the laps prior.
Maybe tries to force a mistake out of neck track now.
I think Natrak knows, though, even if he does make a mistake, Stoggs has got 6 seconds worth of penalty. So even if he lets him pass, Stoggs isn't going to gain 6 seconds on him. Natrak will keep second. He will keep second in the championship as well. So we'll see how it all unfolds. But as of right now, Massimo will pick 8 points up over Natrak. So he will extend his lead to 13 points in total. In terms of the guys behind, Natrak will get 3 points because I think it's 18 points for second and 15 for third. It will
That's
get 3 points over Stoggs and will extend his lead over Stoggs to 5 points. And that will put Stoggs a whopping 18 or so points behind in the championship. And here comes Stoggs. He's going to go all the way around the outside. He's putting his nose up in Natrak's business, and he's going to surely dive one up the inside. He decides not to. Natrak again leaves him space in case he does, but Stoggs, and I think that's the last time now. So no other opportunities for Stoggs to make a move, and Stoggs is right at the end now of his battery. He's got 10%, almost making contact. Will we see him activate it here as he goes into the chicane? We will not. So I think he knows it, and I think Natrak knows it. It's Massimo who's going to win this one. Natrak is going to keep it in second, Stoggs in third, and Jinxie way behind. So even with the fighting, Jinxie is 9.5 seconds behind Stoggs in front. Air Jordan, it looks like, has managed to keep position over Sienna Bob. Lord Volk will have to wait for his penalties to be resolved, but Hamlin is a ways behind him. There's Massey, and he's crossed the line, and he wins and extends his championship lead. Here comes Natrak, ran the last corner, and Natrak under incredible pressure. What a drive from him. Keeps second in the championship, second in the race, and Stoggs in third. What a recovery drive from himself. Jinxie lines out in fourth, and he's done well for the championship in favour of Ferrari. So Ferrari still managing to keep P1 in the constructors championship, at least in this div, if not in the overall standings, where they are a little bit further down.
Yeah, we've seen driver of the day voted by chat. Stocks wins this one. Probably the game will award him with the title as well.
Yeah, fantastic drive from Stoggs. He's done absolutely brilliantly. Got a couple of warnings early on when he was fighting his way through. We'll have to see if he made any contact with anyone. We'll have to see if that's raised. But he's done fantastically as just a damage limitation this race. Hopefully next one he can come back out and show it to some of these guys and make his mark on the championship. He'll want to get back up there. He'll want to usurp both Massimo and Natrak, but both of them have done a fantastic job in keeping their positions in the championship. Championship's still alive as we get into the last 2 rounds. Next round will be in Canada, in Montreal, and then following that in Silverstone in Great Britain. So I've been Mark. It's been another great race. This is the division that just keeps on giving, and I've been joined by Instinct.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining to watch. Have fun with Division 5 Shambles later on. And see you again next week. Bye bye.
Yep. Take care and see you all next time.